Hey guys, so today I'm gonna do Confessions of a Broken Heart, Daughter to Father series part 1. So yeah, let's get started today. So when my dad, the time when he left, it was beginning since I was a little girl. Me and my mom and my dad were like a really good family. Like, even though I was little, like a little girl, like probably like 3 to 4 or 5 years old, I didn't know what was going on, but my mom and dad were in love. But as time passes by, like, my dad would always be out in the street, not drugs or anything like that, but he just always out all the time. Like, he he just he's always out for hours and hours, and he just comes back until later, like on the day. And my mom would just be like, where you been at? Where have you been? Like, I haven't seen you all day. And she always felt alone. He's always going out all the time, and he never spent time with my mom, and she felt lonely and sad and unwanted and unloved, and she wanted, to be with him. She wanted attention, but he was like, oh, I don't got time for this, I don't got time for that. Little by little, she was hurt, and the love started to fade away. Even when she tried to seduce him, he would just like push her away because I'm watching wrestling, and she was like, the wrestling is more important than me. He's like, shut up, I'm watching this. And then once the show is done, he's like, come on, let's cuddle, kind of thing. So she's like, oh, forget it now. I don't want to. My mom was working, but then she met someone at work, and she met a different man. They became very close friends. I'm sorry. I'm trying to sit down. So they became very close friends. And that's when, little by little, she started to fall in love with a different man. And my dad started to see that she was changing. And then he's wondering, like, wow, she's changing. And he started to notice that. So my mom slept with him in a different house, like his house, I think. But before, my dad cheated on my mom. So, that was before, and because some woman called my mom. I was little, so I didn't know what was going on. So this woman called my mom at home and saying, "Oh, I'm his lover and whatever." Like, she's like, "What? Like, what? I can't believe this. This is happening. Like, I'm his wife and whatever." Things just went really crazy. Around when I was 7 years old, that's when my dad had to leave. So he packed his things and he went to live with his sister for, like, I think a year. Like at least 1 year. Until he found his own place. I had a stepfather, and I could tell you that in my next next video will be called Story Time with Melissa. I will tell you more about my stepfather and my mom and my school and all that kind of stuff when I went through when I was little. But this is like about my dad. So yeah, I had a stepdad, and I saw my dad on the weekends, not as much as before. And since I was a little girl, even though my family wasn't perfect, I still got to see my dad. But you know, it wasn't what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like a family, but I didn't have like perfect family. Not everyone else does, but you know. I did spend time with him on the weekends. He would take me out to McDonald's or Wendy's. We would go out to eat and go shopping. Just me and my dad go out sometimes, you know. I would go to his apartment, I watch TV on the weekends. Sometimes I sleep over. But that was back then when I was younger. But as I got older, things changed, you know, high school and all that stuff. And boys and other stuff that I will talk about in my other videos. I fell in love with a guy. It was really quick. And it was like, to me, I was 15 and it was like love at first sight to me. And I quickly fell for him and he fell for me. And I kissed him and we were just hanging out a lot. And I didn't care what race he was. And he was nerdy, and he was so cute and funny and awkward, and he was also like a gamer guy. And that he was my first. He was the first guy that I've been with, and I mean, like, not the first guy, but I'm saying the first guy I've been with sexually. Like, not the first boyfriend, but the first guy that I ever did it with. And he was my first time. And I was his first also. Anyway, he was my first, and for like a year, and then in 2013, you know, I turned, like, no, I think it was um 2012. I turned 16. I turned 16, and then 2013, where I think, fuck. No, I'm just like, what's going on? I'm starting to forget things now. Bro, I'm getting old. um, so I was 16. When I turned 16, I had an awesome birthday. Blah 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 blah. Then one, like, I think, I don't remember, but I got pregnant, but I didn't know until I got I started to notice that my belly was getting bigger and bigger. And it was kind of, I thought my stomach was swollen or something. I didn't know. Um, it was like around December of 2012. I started feeling weird. In January and February, it felt weird a lot, and then suddenly I threw up. I vomited, and like twice or three, 4 times. Sometimes I feel sick every morning, and I was scared as hell, like scared, cause I'm like, I hope I'm not pregnant. I hope I'm not pregnant, and like, yeah, I'm pregnant, but in the same time, like, I was really terrified, and then I was trying to convince myself that I'm not pregnant. Oh my god, I'm not pregnant. I just can't be pregnant. No, I was like crazy, insane, and scared and terrified. Like, oh my god, you had no idea how scared I was. Oh my god, I was 16, and I didn't think, I never thought that that would ever happen to me. Like, I never thought that ever. Like, wow. Oh god. So, yeah, I got pregnant, blah blah blah. 9 months later, no, it was 8 months later, in the middle of the summer, where my mom found out I was pregnant, and then she called my dad, and my dad rushed over, and he was so really pissed off. He's like, "You're pregnant by that black guy?" And I'm like, he doesn't like him. But at the time, my dad lived somewhere else. He lived with my mom and me. It was just me and my mom and my stepdad until I was pregnant. But at the time, my stepdad wasn't around. He left. At the time before he actually knew the whole time, and he never said anything. He left, and then my mom found out I was pregnant, and yada yada yada. And they were both pissed off, but my mom was like, "Hey, you are only human. Everyone makes mistakes. No one's perfect, and there are lots of girls out there who get pregnant at 16 or younger, or even probably 17 or 18. You know, and I'm not the only girl in the whole world that got pregnant. I didn't think that would happen to me because I had a plan to not have sex, but I did, and it was only with one guy, and he was my first. And I didn't plan for that to happen. It wasn't my plan. It wasn't. My plan was to maybe get married one day and then do it for the first time, but that didn't happen. So what can I do? I made mistakes. So what? I'm only human. Everyone makes mistakes in their life. No one's perfect. You can't expect someone to be perfect, to not do anything wrong. Like, you ever did anything wrong in your life? Like, you never did made a mistake? Like, you never did nothing? Oh, I'm a good kid, I do everything good. Not always. I'm only human here. When I was pregnant, my mom was there for me, and my dad, he never came over, he never visited, he never called me, and it really made me cry so much, and it hurt a lot. Sorry. My mom would just be like, you know what? You don't need your father. You got me. I'll be your mom and your dad. You don't need him. This is the time to show the love of a father. And he's gonna go and just abandon you like that. What kind of father does that? She said. And I cried like, I made a mistake, mommy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. But I can't change. If I could go back in time and change the past, I would. But I can't, and it sucks so much. Um, so yeah. That's how everything started. The Confessions of a Broken Heart is this. Where it all began is when I got pregnant. It's all there. When he found out, he couldn't take it, so he just left. Like, I couldn't see him anymore. I couldn't talk to him, and he didn't call me, and he wouldn't be with me during my pregnancy. And my mom was there with me through it. She took me shopping for baby stuff and pregnancy clothes, and make sure I didn't fall. And she would touch my belly, and she would be like, "Hello in there, it's your grandma. Hello, baby. I don't know if you're a boy or a girl, but I love you." And I started crying, like, "Mommy, I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being here for me." And my daddy just didn't. I literally, cried for hours at night and cried. And when I gave birth, he never came to the hospital. I was in the hospital for a week after the baby was born. He wasn't there. When I took her home, he wasn't there to see her, the baby girl. He only came once. After 4 months later, he came, and he just quickly left. Like, the hell was that? I was so speechless. I didn't know what to say. And he just left, and then I started crying after. I'm like, "Daddy, why? I know I hurt you, but you hurt me more." And many years later, like 2 years later, it made everything worse. And up to now, I'm still hurt. I mean, I gave birth 2 days later after I turned 17. And he wasn't there. I mean, he even texted my mom on Facebook. He texted my mom. I was laying on the bed with with her, and she had the computer in her room, and he was texting her, and she was talking to him in Spanish, and asking him why you doing that to your daughter? She's your daughter. You should love her the way she is. You know, she's pregnant. You should be there for her. And he said something in Spanish saying, I'm sorry, but she betrayed me. She hurt me. You know, she is not my daughter." And she was like, "How can you say that?" And he was like, he literally said, "I wish the baby was dead. Then I'll love her again." What kind of father said that? And I was laying on the bed crying, and she read it to me, and I was just hurt. And he said, "I love my daughter. I don't want her, but I don't want the child." Like, and then a couple weeks later, he called and saying, "Oh, I got an idea. When the baby is born, get rid of it." Like, how can you say that? Get rid of it like it's a piece of trash. She was a baby, a human being. Like, have a heart. It was so sad. And I cried at night. I will cry and I cry and cried every day. I never stopped crying. Like, "Daddy, please come back." I was praying. I'm like, "Daddy, please come back. I'm so sorry." I cried. "I want forgiveness, please." I cried. Um, so that's it for today. The Confessions of a Broken Heart series, part 1. So, yeah. So, please like this video, comment, whatever, and please subscribe to my channel for more stories and series. Yeah. And if you like this video, if you want to hear more about the story, there's more. And I'll talk about story time, about my life when I was my stepdad. You know, you'll hear more about him, and then how my mom was going through a lot, and I was too. I was going through hard times at home and at school. So, if you like this video and you want more stories and advice, I could talk about anything, you know. Well, not anything, but, you know, you get it. So, yeah, like this video, okay? And please subscribe. And have a nice day, or a good night, or a good afternoon. Goodbye.